Welcome to Ready, Set, Rise, the ultimate podcast made for martial artists by martial artists, with your hosts, Aaron Hensley and Cameron Smith.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Ready, Set, Rise. I'm Cam Smith, and I am super excited for you to listen to today's episode with Juliana and Justin Ortiz, professional, world-class martial artists that have also made a name for themselves in the entertainment industry as well. And the business principles they have, the dynamic they have as a power couple, an amazing force, and the love that they have and the passion that they have for inspiring and helping other people. You guys are in for a treat today. So buckle up, listen in, and get ready for today's episode. All right. Hey, Justin, Juliana, thank you guys for joining today. I'm excited for the conversation. I know it's going to provide a lot of value to a lot of people. So thank you guys again for joining me.
Thanks
Thank you
for
having us.
allowing us to share some of our story with them.
Definitely. So I've known you guys for, a few years now, and obviously you've had a lot of success over those years, but definitely recently you guys have just like skyrocketed, and it's amazing to watch what you guys are able to do, not just in martial arts, but even in the entertainment industry as well. And we'll kind of touch on all of that. I know you guys will be presenting at our event coming up in February, and we'll get to that a little bit later to the end, but let's just kind of like backtrack a little bit and start from the beginning when you guys got started with your martial arts journey. Like, what got you into martial arts? What was kind of your inspiration and passion at the time? And how have you seen that kind of develop over the years to get you guys to the success level that you had as martial arts competitors and professionals as well? Like, what did that journey kind of look like for each of you?
I started when I was 3 years old because it was definitely a family affair. My parents had a karate school while my mom was pregnant with me. All my uncles had karate schools. So I was basically born and raised on the mats. But my key factor there is that my family never forced me to do it. They very much allowed me to explore these different sports and whatever it was that I wanted to do, whether that was theater, dance, gymnastics, cheerleading. They definitely encouraged me to try so many things. And at the end of the day, at 8 years old, I really chose it for myself, and I knew it was my passion and it's all I wanted to do. I remember even in 5th grade telling my parents, I'm not going to go to college. And my parents looked at me and were like, well, hold on. There's definitely there's time. We don't have to think about it right now. But why do you say that? And I knew in my heart that I wanted to have my own karate school and do karate for the rest of my life like they had. And it brought me to competition. It brought me to different, performance avenues. It brought me to the film industry. It gave me my husband. It gave me my career. And being able to adapt and move my martial arts knowledge into all these different avenues is one of the most valuable, priceless things that the martial arts gave me.
I love that. Justin, what about you?
I started when I was 3 years old as well. Pretty much as soon as I was born, I was kicking. My father is my instructor in Shotokan Karate. My first ever lesson was he took my leg, he put it on the couch, he said, hold it there, left the room, left me there crying. And that's why I kick the way I do.
So that's how you get that kick. So
that's how you get the hot foot, basically. At 3 years old, you got to keep that leg up. But at 3 years old, that was my first lesson, and my gift was my first ever uniform. My white uniform with my white belt, and I remember that day like yesterday. But I also knew that martial arts meant a lot to our family because it was a way to get us out of the streets. We were born and raised in Boston, so we were born in a not so good area, and we were poor, and martial arts was a way to escape that life and to try to find another. And I used that martial arts throughout my whole life to get away from certain situations and make good in my life and make good in my community. And martial arts has taken me all over the world, has opened many doors, opens a lot of opportunities for me, and it continues to do so. So it's always been a part of my life, and it's always been something that has changed the course of my life.
Yeah, I love that. And it's cool that you both started at such a young age and it's been something that, you've kept all these years. I mean, very rarely do you see somebody stick to something for, 20 plus years, and still have the same drive and the same passion for it that you guys obviously have. And, you touched on something big there about the opportunities that martial arts has created for you to be able to travel, to be able to see the world, to be able to create a life for yourself. I mean, like Juliana said, like you guys met because of martial arts, right? So like, to be able to build a life around this passion that you had is incredible. But also, you guys have done a fantastic job of not just being martial arts practitioners, but being professionals. And I think a lot of people don't realize, kind of when they cross that line from being just, a practitioner, somebody who loves it, enjoys it, an enthusiast, so to say, but now you're a professional martial artist, right? And you can factor that a lot of different ways. Maybe it's once you finally get paid for doing martial arts or teaching it or whatever. Like there's a lot of different ways you can kind of, pick and choose what considers you to be a professional. But for you guys, like when do you feel like that transition happened for you where, hey, I've got this passion for martial arts. Now I'm actually creating a career, a legacy. Now I have a profession in martial arts. Like when did you kind of see that transition start to happen for you?
When definitely when competition became that elite level of competition,
Yeah.
when it stopped just being like, oh, like a regional tournament that you do on the weekends, when it became the center of what my family's like
Yeah.
plans were every month for years,
Yeah.
that's when if my family is pouring all their time, money, and energy into this, they see and believe something in me. I have to take this seriously in the equal or so, right? And so when I decided to really hone into my competitive martial arts side, that is when I started to consider myself a professional martial artist because it consumed so much of my time, energy, my thought. Everything that I ate was to fuel me as a martial artist. Everything that I thought was to better me as a competitor, as a martial artist, as a black belt on and off the mats in my community. That is when I was a professional. It was everything that I was.
Yeah.
For me, it was there's like three separate moments that happened in the span of like a year or two.
Mhm.
Uh, the first moment was when I decided to drop out of college to pursue martial arts.
Okay.
And a lot of people are like, "What? You did that for that?" And I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, I loved martial arts. I couldn't stop thinking about it. I wanted to travel the world, and I was doing international business in Florida, Florida Southern College, and it was a private college, and it was beautiful, and I had a lot of fun and great moments there. But as I'm taking this international business course, I'm realizing I'm already doing that with my martial arts. I'm already meeting people around the world. I
Yeah.
just I just began teaching seminars, and I'm like, that I can do this. I can do martial arts as my life. And I was like, you know what? I'm doing it. Not a lot of people, of course, didn't agree with it, and there was a lot of backfire from even from family from it. But that moment, I knew like this was my life.
I
Martial
gotta
arts.
double down
The
on
martial arts
this.
is my
Yeah,
life.
gotta go all in on this thing. Yeah.
The next moment is like right after I got picked up on Team Paul Mitchell, and I just knew the networking and the
Legacy.
opportunities and the legacy that I had behind me was going to open so many doors. So I had to capitalize on it, and so I had to learn to capitalize on it. But the very most important moment in my life was when I met my life coach,
Mm.
Christina Cooper Foster. To this day, I thank God for her. She was a blessing in my life, and she opened my eyes to a lot of poverty mindsets that I had, even as a martial artist, and showed me how to take my martial arts and create a business, but also how to take myself and create a business out of myself.
Yeah,
And,
that's huge.
and that was huge, and how to make me, you know, profitable.
Yeah, I love that.
uh, and it opened my eyes to many things, and that's what started Ortiz coaching years ago. I think when I first did a seminar at PMA at your school.
What's funny is I was actually going to touch on that there. You talked about, sitting in your business class and realizing like, man, like I'm learning all this stuff already. Like I can just go ahead and attack this. Like that was a
uh,
similar thing for me. I literally just had a conversation with somebody this morning. We were talking about our experiences with college. And I told him like, man, I'm a high school graduate, but I only got like a semester and a half into college because I was sitting in a class listening to this teacher who's never run a business in her life teach you how to run a business. And I remember I texted Aaron, I said, this is so dumb. Why am I here right now? And never went back, never showed back up to that class, went martial arts full time. But the funny part about that is around that same time of that happening was actually around the time that you came and you did one of your first seminars at our school back in South Carolina. We got to spend the weekend with you. We did rock climbing, we did the
Yeah.
ninja course and all that. So that was
Awesome.
actually one of the first experiences that I got like training with somebody of your caliber and skill level. And it opened my eyes to the fact of like, wow, like actually you can create a career doing something like this if you go all in on it and you kind of make it your brand and your identity, right? Make it you create a business around it. So I don't even know if you knew that like that's kind of how that timeline matched up. But when you mentioned it, I was just like, actually, when I had that same transition was actually the time that I met Justin. Look at how that worked.
Yeah.
Now it's
Hey,
full circle. We're doing interviews together. We're helping people. Like it's crazy. I love it.
it's the school was amongst the first, like when I transitioned into treating it like a business, and uh the PMA school was definitely your PMA school was definitely the first one out
Yeah,
of like you that I started with. And I remember meeting Aaron at the time, and like even watching him grow, like we were kind of
yeah,
growing and learning together at the same
it's true.
time. And but it was awesome. Yeah, but that was the moments for sure that really changed my perspective on, like, my martial arts is my foundation for a
Yeah,
reason. God has given me that foundation for a reason, and I'm going to use it to the best of my abilities in all aspects of my life.
for
Yeah.
sure.
And I think it's really key. Something that you said at the beginning of the interview was like, wow, you guys have blown up over the past few years. We've just seen you guys, but like this is a culmination. It's very much the iceberg effect. We've been hitting this same stone with the same amount of intensity and consistency since we were teenagers, or even before that. I was like 8, 10 years old when I realized I chose and I knew I was going to do this for the rest of my life. So I knew I had to take it very seriously, and I couldn't do it at the same level that people were doing it as a hobby, because whatever route I decided to take, it was going to have to be able to provide for me. And my parents showed me what a good life was, because they came from Puerto Rico, so they could point out, look at all the things that we didn't have and look at how hard we worked to be entrepreneurs and do what we love and
Yeah,
show you what a good life is. So I got to really appreciate seeing that value of hard work and entrepreneurship and being able to take those risks for a big reward. And it's been really nice to see the us reap the rewards of how much we've worked behind closed doors. When the karate school was closed and we were there training until midnight back in at 6 a.m. The phone calls, the networking, the books that we read that nobody checked on us for,
yeah,
the lectures that we attended, the seminars that we, studied other people do so that we could apply best to the product that we were bringing to other martial arts schools.
The meetings that we had together, like
Yeah, our personal
our
team
own
meetings.
personal team meetings, just
yeah.
to make sure that we're on the same page, and
And then
that
we,
we're meeting the goals, or trying to achieve the things that we wanted to achieve,
yeah.
or even scheduling purposes, making sure
Mhm.
that our schedules lined up to what we wanted to happen.
That our communication was right, so we stay on the same path and we can continue to execute at the same intensity. And a lot of that has been because we have had good role models and mentorship.
Mm.
None of this is, you could have all the right resources, but if you don't have good coaching and good mentorship, there are so many people that have helped keep us on that path. I mean, like you said, Christina Cooper Foster, his life coach from way back when, my father that I can call up at any time, Aaron, who we have called at 3 a.m., like, hey, I think we're freaking out because we may have made a bold move and we're not sure where we're going. Can you help us make reason
Yeah.
of this? Or having good, mentors has always been that North Star for us. We have big aspirations, but coming together, communicating, and then seeking that help to guide us has been
Yeah.
the cheat
So
sheet.
I don't even know if you guys realized it, but you just touched on so much in just that little bit right there that I think is super valuable for a lot of people. So like guys, if you're listening right now, like the conversation that we're having and the key points that they just touched on, it's not even like you guys didn't even just touch on business. You touched on business, you touched on relationships, you touched on communication, all these things that if they don't align, if they don't gel together, then everything starts crumbling apart, right? It's like a foundation. If you don't have a strong foundation, what happens? Everything falls apart. And what I admire about the two of you is, yes, you guys are doing great with martial arts, with being in the entertainment space, with your business outside of your relationship, but also your relationship is super strong and admirable as well. Like me, you guys probably don't even know, but even me and Emma, like we talk about you guys all the time because we love who you guys are as a couple and we see how well you gel together, how well you work together, but we also see how hard you guys hustle together too, right? And anybody who does business with a spouse, like it's not always easy. It takes a lot of communication, takes a lot of patience, right?
Yeah.
Like it does, right? So to see you guys do it, and I guarantee you there's, little tips or conversations or things like that that happen behind closed doors that nobody sees and they don't have to see them, but it takes work, just like with a business. It takes work in order to get that thing to grow, to blossom into something amazing. And it's the same thing with a relationship. Like you have to have strong communication. You have to be on the same page together. You guys have to be a team together. And so there's a lot of similarities there. That's why we say businesses are built on relationships. And it doesn't always mean romantic relationships. Like it can just mean your professional relationship with somebody. If that's not strong and you don't nurture that, then it's going to have an impact on your business and not in the way that you want it to. So to see you guys go after life together, but also go after business together, and you do it as strong as the way you guys do it, I mean, that in itself is incredible. Like, I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We,
Thank
we,
you.
we always try to keep that martial arts mentality
Yeah.
as our base and foundation of everything we do. And one of the biggest things is that I love to preach about is balance. Like one of the most iconic symbols in the martial arts is the yin yang symbol,
Yep.
opposite and equal, but having that balance in life. And we're big on like being obsessed with what we do, but in order to have a balance, you need to be obsessed in all areas of your life. So whether that is your business, your relationship, your spirituality, everything, you need to be obsessed in all these areas. And that, it takes a lot of work, and we're still working on it every day. Like
Yeah.
I just started picking up my devotionals every day and trying to read more every day so that, all areas of my life I have this obsessive nature so that I maintain balance, but it's a healthy balance between all of them.
Yeah.
And I think that's usually key, but that's kind of keeping that martial arts foundation or mentality behind us, that is our core.
I think to the same tune is also being able to be aware of where your strengths and your weaknesses are and working well together. And it's not just between us. He just happens to be my business partner. So we get to do that, but also like in my friendships, like I know that there are times where we take turns being the listening ear, being the one that's venting, being able to pick up the slack where the other one is. Like I've always been a very big reader. I'm not, when he invites me to, watch a show at the end of the night to, chill out, and I know that I haven't read my book yet today, I'm not going to change those things about myself. I'm going to continue to do them. And in turn, I have inspired him to now pick up a book, and then we watch TV together. And so sometimes it's about, picking up where the other one lacks and then being there when the other one is going to lack, because we all ebb and flow. We can't sprint marathons, but we can find what our flow is and go after it in our healthiest and best capacity. Not everybody functions the same way. And so having a good partner and communication, even good coaches and mentors that I know I can reach out to you or Emma or Aaron at any point and be like, hey, I feel like I'm falling short or I don't have enough guidance in this area. And you guys will answer my phone call if it's at 6 a.m. or 6 p.m.,
For sure.
Working on your community is huge.
Yeah. Man, it's so good. So good. And the hard part is like, I just want to like let this keep going like forever and ever and ever. But I know we're trying to like, kind of keep it brief and to the point. But let's go to the next one here. What's next for you guys? Actually, no, I want to backtrack a little bit. We kind of talked about the martial arts industry and kind of like what's going on in the industry and that kind of stuff. I want to ask you guys and just kind of get your opinion as two people who are martial arts athletes, you guys are practitioners, you've had a high level of success, you're professionals in that area, transition into the entertainment industry, still using your skill set of martial arts to transition into that. Where do you guys feel like your own personal opinion or just things that you've noticed? Where do you see the trend of martial arts heading right now? Within the next, let's say, 3 to 5 years. Obviously, Cobra Kai brought a lot of attention to the martial arts industry. More people getting excited and pumped up about it. Like people have nothing to do with martial arts, like talking about Cobra Kai, right? So that brings a lot of attention to that aspect and to that industry. But where do you guys feel as people who are kind of in the grind of it right now? Like, where do you see kind of the trend going in the next 3 to 5 years? Do you see more awareness being brought to it and more people wanting to take part in it? Do you feel like it's actually on the decline? Like, where do you guys just personally feel the industry is at right now?
For the martial arts industry, I think it's a beautiful time to capitalize on how much media attention there is.
Yeah.
And it's the same way with any business that you would go. Like if you were into stocks, you watch the news outlets to see what's trending so that you know what to buy and sell, what might be a good. And so it's the same thing with the martial arts. If we know that Cobra Kai is popping, why wouldn't we market to that, teen and middle school genre, or even like the people that are fans from years ago that maybe they didn't get to realize their love for the martial arts because they
Yeah.
got busy and life happened, and they want to come and be a part of your adult classes.
Yeah.
And so just taking advantage of that, yes. And also I think the trend is going into a very empowering side of things. That is where things are headed, where for women, because that is my market that I study a lot of,
Yeah.
is strong is beautiful. They can coexist. They
Yeah.
they they don't have to be mutually exclusive. You can't just think that, oh, because she's pretty, she can't be strong and independent and all these things. And so I think media has really brought this like, well, martial arts is not, it's a little lucrative. It's unique. It
Yeah.
makes you stand out. It's not the norm. It's trendy in a way that's abstract. It's trendy because it's not trendy. And so paying attention to what the verbiage is of our youth, of our media, and capitalizing on it by being adaptable.
Mm.
Being old school is out. What
Yeah.
is in is being adaptable. It's being like, I swore I would never do TikTok, but there's a market, and there's not one way to get 50 students, but there's 50 ways to get one student. And if that means you got to make a TikTok, then you got to make a TikTok. And you
Yeah.
got to, put your foot in your mouth. You said you would never do it, and now here you are. So being adaptable and taking in information and applying it is how the martial arts is the trends that it's following is it's something you can pick up on.
And
Yeah.
then being ahead of the curve, it's very simple. History tends to repeat itself. So it's nothing new. Before it was when Karate Kid came out. Then
Mhm.
it was
Power
Power
Rangers.
Rangers. Then it became Ninja Turtles. And now guess what? Karate
Cobra
Kid's
Kai.
coming back in the form
Yep.
of Cobra Kai.
Exactly.
Just
That-
last year, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles also came out and built a wave.
Yeah, exactly. And then that was cartoon. And then you have cartoons, you have anime now, which
Anime
is
too.
Anime is
huge.
huge
Especially-
right now.
Huge, and it
Comic
involves a
cons.
lot of martial arts, and you see all over Comic Cons people that even don't do martial arts.
With
They're trying to do
weapons.
martial arts, and they're trying to use weapons. Movies, TVs, even more awareness for stunt performers and how stunt performers are martial artists.
Yeah.
Or
No matter what
or
that
how they
was.
train martial arts to
Mhm.
get to what they do. There's a huge awareness of martial arts right now. There's a huge wave, and it's about being ahead of that curve and using that as an advantage, and not just waiting for it to come to you. Like, it's going to happen. It's there. History tends to repeat itself. It's going to happen. Just use it. Use it as a tool.
I love it. So what's next for you guys? Obviously, I know you have a lot of stuff in the works. Some of it you probably can't really talk about publicly, but like what's next for you guys? Like what can people expect to see from you in the not just next coming year, but even in the next few years? Like what can people expect to see from you guys?
Take over the world. Okay.
No, definitely. We have been so blessed and we have worked so incredibly hard in our time in the film industry that we are just trying to digest and really clearly clarify what we did and found works well for martial artists and give back to our community because we love it so much. The money in this industry is secondary to our love of being a creative artist or athlete that gets to thrive and do what they love to do every day. That you don't have to give up that inner child, that excitement, that passion to be successful and do what you love and make a living out of it. So we're, we have a production company. And so definitely going into more productions, but that also use a lot of martial artists, a lot of creatives, artists, and athletes of any age to be able to have a platform where they can see, oh man, I like this. I can do this. Maybe this isn't for me, but I can see how I can apply this to other areas of my life. But giving back is definitely a big part of that.
Yeah. I mean, we're still, highly into stunts, but we're shifting more into acting now. And so there's some acting roles that are going to come about this year. Of course, we can't really talk about it.
Oh, come on. Tell us all of them. Come on.
We've also had really great opportunities just as stunt professionals, like even when we weren't acting, but getting to play on stunt performers in the Superman movie that comes out in 2025, Peacemaker, so many of these shows and big movies that are coming out where we just got to really rely on our martial arts body awareness.
And of course, I recently saw us on Cobra Kai.
Right,
and,
Cobra Kai.
That was an awesome blessing, being able to portray our own characters in that in this legacy, that we grew up in.
Immortalizing our passion too.
Yeah. But mainly it's just bringing awareness and seeing the different avenues that we can touch upon. We have our production company. We're still doing our stunts and acting. We're working on a movie. Producing a movie.
Nice.
We're working on our own headquarters space, which that's coming up soon. And Rec Hard Productions, Rec Hard Studios. We're still doing seminars in all over the world, and shifting into consulting, and I'm doing contracts with other schools for coaching, consulting, being consulting coach, and we're just
honestly trying to just get out and give back to our martial arts community as much as possible in as many avenues as we can.
But one of our biggest, one of our, I mean, I know for sure we think the same, but like when I started Ortiz coaching, like we shifted into Martial Smart because we didn't want to just be a name. We wanted to be for everyone, and Martial Smart was being smart about the martial arts. And then one of the biggest things that is our motivation is showing all of our martial arts athletes, or, all of our young athletes, our next generation, that you can do so many things with your martial arts. You can touch into so many avenues with just your martial arts. And because you're a martial artist, you have a beautiful advantage. It's just knowing how to leverage that advantage correctly, depending on what you're doing.
And not just the young ones. We've had a lot of mentees recently that are adults, or even people that are older than us that are like, hey, I'm tired of just going at this the same way I have been for the past 20 years. How can I apply this new age way of thinking and get to do what I love again and be excited about life again? And so it's been really exciting to just, be trusted and be able to share that wisdom and that knowledge that we have earned through the good, the bad, the ugly, and hopefully give somebody that clarity to pursue and go after their dreams and become successful too.
Also, a little plug, 2025 mass intros, Cobra Kai mass intros. We've been doing that.
Yeah,
those are big hits. So.
There we go. That's awesome. So where can people go to find out more about what you guys are doing? Like, what's the best way for people to find you, support you, follow you? What's the best way?
Definitely, I'm most active. I believe we're both most active on Instagram. My Instagram is karate.jewels, and his is
The Ortiz Experience.
That's right. And all of my social media, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, whatever it is, you can find me under karate.jewels. And then our business website is wreckHard.com, spelt WRECKHARD.com, because as stunt performers, we're constantly wrecking hard, and we want to inspire other people to be excited to do as well in productions.
And that's how we tackle life, baby. We wreck
I
hard.
thought you were about to say you want to inspire other people to wreck hard too. I was like, yes.
Yeah.
Wreck hard, get up, dust it off, do it again.
Yeah.
Hold on, Justin, you got to add to it, and you got to look good doing it.
That's
Look good doing it.
right.
There you
Whatever
go.
you do, look
Yes,
good.
I still remember. I still remember.
I love it. I love it.
So
Rule
obviously, so obviously, you guys are going to be joining us in February for our event in Scottsdale, Arizona. Man, what do you have to say to somebody who needs to be in the room, whether they're an aspiring martial arts school owner, they want to open their own school, they already have one, they have multiple locations, or they're an instructor that wants to grow? Like, what piece of advice do you have to those people to get their butt in that room and get a seat and be there and soak in all the knowledge that all of our presenters are going to bring to the table? What would you guys say to that person?
There is never a bad time to grow, expand, and be around people that are going to make your top 5 people, circle of people, make you better. And
Yeah.
so getting in the room and just being at that table is going to solidify your space in 2025 as a winner. And I really want to impart on, building something that is long term, that longevity, creating that longevity for you. Being around the right people is going to keep you accountable. It's going to teach you tips and tricks that maybe you had heard of, but you forgot of. All these things that are just going to keep you on that right path and keep you going in the right direction.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're a serious martial artist, you're a serious business owner, you aspire to be a business owner, or if you just want to take your martial arts to the next level or learn how to use your martial arts in these different avenues, there is I can't think of a better event. Like, there's been other martial arts events that I have attended, I've been a part of, but I think this event seems more, the word I'm looking for is intimate, more intimate. It's more catered to these people that really want to know what their martial arts can do for their lives. And I am so excited for this event because I feel like it will touch many lives. It will inspire many, including myself. There's a reason why, and it's not just because we're going to be teaching at this event, but like being a part of the event and being in the room, like she said, with like-minded individuals. There's nothing stronger that's going to motivate us or skyrocket us to our goals than being a part of an event like that.
Yeah. And it's so intentional. Everything that we have been planning from the moment it was just a little brainchild has been curated with everybody's greatest heart, mind, soul, success in mind. And so we're giving it our all, and we know that we're going to get something out of it. So how could any attendee not,
And not to mention Andy Elliott. Come on, man.
Andy Elliott. Come on.
No, it's funny. It's when, before Aaron, announced we're going to be doing it with Andy Elliott, I was watching videos already with him, and I was like, this man's, he's strong, and sometimes people can they're like, oh, like they kind of get scared about it, but like you see how heartfelt he is, and how devoted he is to God, and loving yourself, and trying to give back to others, and his wife and his family. It's truly inspirational, and it's beautiful. So just to be around that, it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be amazing.
That's one of the things I told Emma. Is I was watching a couple of his videos before we even thought about doing the event with him. And when Aaron brought up the idea of it, I was like, dude, it would be so cool if you could get that guy. And then next thing you know, we're like, oh, instead of having him come to us, we're just going to go to him, host the whole event there. And I got to take a trip with Aaron to actually go visit the office there, meet Andy in person, all of that. Everything you just said, is super heartfelt, very intentional. You can tell, you could tell just having the conversation with this guy, he truly cares about helping people, taking care of his family. That's what he's all about. I remember I came home and I'm like, Emma, you got to meet this guy. The way he talks about his faith, his wife, his life, what he's chasing after, the energy you can feel off him. It's incredible. I came back home pumped up, and all we did was sit down and do a little podcast with him, and that was it. So I know that him mixed with you guys, mixed with everybody that we're gonna have there, like the energy in that environment is just gonna be freaking insane. And I'm excited for it. And I'm glad that you guys get to be a part of that with us as well as we get to shape some lives and change some lives through the event as well. So guys, hey, make sure you get your tickets, riseusa.com/elevate. Make sure you follow Justin and Jules as well. Follow their journey, follow their stories, support them. They're doing great, amazing things right now, making a huge impact. And same way you guys are going to make an impact as well. You just have to take the action and get out there and crush it. So thank you, Justin. Thank you, Jules, for joining again. I know this is going to help a lot of people, and I'll see you guys in February.
See you super soon.
All right, guys. Thanks.